So the first one on the list of iOS 10 features is going to be interactive notifications. So now you're going to be able to take your iPhone and you're going to be able to interact with the notifications right from the lock screen itself. You're also going to be able to get to the camera by swiping right and getting to the widgets by swiping left. So I'm going to show this more in depth when I do get my hands on iOS 10, but you're going to be able to use 3D touch in a more efficient way with interactive notifications on the lock screen. So that's the first one on the list of top 10 iOS 10 features here. The next major improvement on the list is going to be Siri support. So Siri is getting support for third-party applications such as WhatsApp, Uber, all kinds of other things. So you can interact right within the Siri app much more than you could before, making it a much more useful application. So Siri is getting updates. Also, Siri is coming to the Mac, but this is not really about Mac, but just so you know, Siri's coming to your Mac finally. And also there's gonna be things like ride booking, and it's just gonna be a much more interactive experience. So that's number 2, Siri support and improvements with third-party applications. So the next one on the list is gonna be QuickType. In QuickType, you're gonna be able to do much more intelligent keyboard actions, as well as you're gonna be able to see your calendar availability and all kinds of things right from, you know, your keyboard and intelligent keyboarding and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of improvements to how you type and communicate with people within iOS 10. Now they made a big deal about this one, past places and memories. So basically within your Photos application, now you're going to be able to relive your memories, and it's going to be all in sync and design. So you're going to have photos from, you know, say you go on a traveling or vacation or something, you're going to have everything right in sync. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of the people who you've seen on that trip or who you communicated with on that trip. Below that, you're going to be able to see the exact location of where you went. And it's also going to show you other, you know, places that you've been traveling frequently or lately. So it's going to be a nice way right from the Photos app to relive your memories. Google Photos kind of already does this, but iOS 10 is bringing this now, and it's also going to, you know, have these options to see kind of like epic videos. So it makes these little short videos out of your photos that you can see with like sound effects and stuff really automatically. So it's going to be a fun little way to look at your old, you know, memories and stuff like that. So that's going to be Memories and Places on iOS 10. The Maps application is also going to be getting a huge update. Within Apple's Maps, it's going to be all redesigned, and you're going to be able to buy stuff right from the Apple, you know, Maps application with your Apple Pay. You're going to be able to schedule Uber rides. You're going to be able to, you know, book restaurant things all from within the app. So you're never going to have to leave the Apple Maps app to do all of your scheduling and planning that you want to do for something you're about to, you know, go out and do. So that's going to make Apple Maps amazing here on iOS 10. So for number 6, Apple Music is also getting a huge redesign and update. So when you go into Apple Music on iOS 10, it's going to be all redesigned. Your library, your songs, everything is going to be right there, right when you open it. And they're also going to have a list for you, like a little section for you, where it starts to read like your curated music and everything, and gives you suggestions based on that. And also, the devs have been working really hard to bring, you know, all those music, the hottest music lately out to you. So the Apple Music app is going to be totally fresh and redesigned. And like I said, we're going to show all this in future iOS 10 videos. But for now, we're just relaying that information to you. So music updates are going to be great here for the Android devices as well as iOS 10 devices. So Apple News is also getting updated here after, you know, in the fall. They're going to have so much more clear, you know, news sources, and they're going to show trending now. They're going to show everything in a nice clear format, much bolder, bigger text in your news application. And it's just going to be so seamless to read your updates in news within the new news apps for iOS 10. So for all you news readers out there, this is going to be a great update coming here for your iOS device here in the fall. So Apple HomeKit is another feature that is coming to the iOS device. It's going to be a little icon that comes on your screen with a little home sign, and basically you're going to be able to automate everything from your home if you have multiple iOS devices. When you pull up in your driveway, your garage door will open, you know, you can turn off your light right on your Apple device. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking we can already do this with certain apps, but it's going to be all integrated into one application, so it's going to be a very seamless and simple experience. You know, so Apple HomeKit is coming right to your iOS device. It's no longer going to be a messy, confusing thing. We're going to be able to control all the things in our home straight off this application, which is very cutting edge, but eventually I think this is a huge market that's going to catch on. So iOS 10 also announced new updates to the phone application, which is going to show you when, spam numbers call you. Possible spam is going to appear on, the iOS device, which is awesome. If you constantly get those calls, you don't know who's calling you, that's going to appear there as well. Also, voicemail transcription. So if somebody calls you and, you don't answer the call, it's going to show you in text right there, right on the phone application, what they were saying. So that's pretty neat touch there as well. So there are going to be some great phone improvements here for iOS 10 as well coming this fall. So one of the things they made the biggest deal about over here on, WWDC 2016 was the iMessage application. It's huge. They've announced so many more features for this. You're now going to be able to, send, those little videos within the messaging application. You're going to be able to make emojis are 3 times bigger now, so they're more appealing and more emotional when you text people. You're also going to be able to have full screen effects where behind the message you can do things like fireworks and whatever. There's going to be so many things, and this is open to developers, so this is going to be expanding. So your messages application is going to be much more interactive on iOS 10. You're going to be able to send messages where a person will literally have to swipe across the message on the other side to reveal what it is. Almost like a letter. Basically, you open up a letter, you don't know what it is. So it's going to be very personal in that aspect. So messaging application, very updated. It's going to be very much more personal, and there's just going to be so much you can do in there. You could even view YouTube videos within the messaging app. You don't even have to come out, and there's so much more. But that was pretty much the top 10 features of iOS 10. My personal opinions, they didn't really redesign iOS 10 in terms of, the icons and the way everything looks. So if you wanted a redesign, if you were looking for a total redesign of iOS 10, you're not going to get it here on iOS 10. You're not going to get redesigned icons like they did from iOS 6 to iOS 7. That's kind of what I was looking for, but we didn't see it here once again. But there are huge software application improvements, which is going to make the iOS experience much better. And to be honest, the iOS experience is going to be even better for people who have iPhone 6s with 3D touch on their device, because there was a lot of stuff going on with that. And also, the iOS experience is going to be improving for people who have multiple iOS devices, as they announced watchOS, macOS, all kinds of new iOS continuity-based applications today. And, the operating system is just going to work more in sync. So if you have more Apple devices, this is going to be huge for you. For us who just use iPhones, if you got the newer 6S, it's going to be huge. But until the Internet of Things market picks up, all of this stuff is not going to be too big per se. But we're going to have to see what it looks like when we get it in the fall. But it's available today for all the developers out there who are developing applications. And I think it's going to be a hit.